Well, welcome to the Daily Sip with Claro and Oli.
What's
the
up?
Claro and Oli show.
How you doing, Claros?
Doing good, man.
All right. We're back at the Daily Sip.
That's right. Welcome to the Daily Sip.
Man, we did a whole lot. It was a whole lot of work, man. It was crazy to start
5 hours later.
How many hours later? I mean, you're crazy. Well, it took us a while because we're trying to different angles and different that. But I don't know. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that.
My drink is gone.
What do you already had the whole drink? Let me try mine. Let me see what we have with that.
Delicious.
Very delicious. All right, we're back at the Daily Sip. Today we're going to have, we got some subjects today. I don't know if Clara want to get to start. I think you want to start with that because, I mean, you was laughing all about it when you, well, not laughing at the subject, but, the way I said it.
Yeah.
It was the way I said it, and I'm sorry.
I think it's a very, we were talking earlier, and I think it's a sensitive subject, I think, for many. Not for me, I mean, but I don't know. And we were talking about individuality and how some people, especially politicians,
Are different.
Like a lot of them are closeted people, if you know what I'm saying. And you can tell. I mean, and a lot of people find it taboo, but come on, let's talk about the subject. A lot of people are gay, and people question themselves. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do I feel about gay people? Because there's a belief, Oli, there's a belief. Some people believe that you were born that way.
Yeah.
Some people believe that you are made that, or that you have a choice to become that way. How do you feel about that, Oli? I mean, let's pretend you have kids.
I do have kids. You don't have to pretend.
Well, I know, but let's pretend that you have 2 boys.
And one of them is...
let's pretend one of them
is gay. Well, how would I feel about that?
How would you feel about it?
Honestly, man, I got to tell you, man, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with gay people. I have a problem with certain gay folks. It depends how you act and handle yourself. If you're very flamboyant and you want to stand out, you're going to have to stand out with somebody else, not with me.
Well, let me ask you a question now that you said that.
Yeah.
If somebody is flamboyant, how does that affect you?
It depends how you come about me when you interacting with me. You get what I'm saying? You can be whatever you want to be, but when you come this way, you got to respect me and give me exactly what I give you. That way, we can sit down. We can sit right here. I throw my hand over you and talk like that with you because
because you're secure in yourself.
I'm secure of myself and I don't mind. But when you come at me and you get fresh or you try to cross the line in any way,
involve you, that's a little bit different. I understand.
I got to check you. It's just right there and there.
So now with that said, Oli, a question for you. Another question. I'm
going to put you
on the spot, man.
This guy in the freaking questions, bro.
Do you think that people are born gay? Or do you think they are made gay? It's a hard question.
It's a very hard question, man, because I have 2 answers, man. Like, I seen boys being raised by women, and they kind of go into that side more, but they not gay. And they act gay, and they act real feminine, but they are not. And that's because the way they were raised with women, they never had that man image in their life that can actually, I can see it in that way. And I'm not talking about a gay person here. I'm talking about a straight guy acting a little feminine type of situation just because the way he was raised. Now, what do you think, man? Are you born gay or you become gay over the years? And what are you saying about that?
I definitely don't think you become gay, because if you're not gay, you're not going to become gay just because you decide, hey, I'm going to be gay today. Yes. It's hard to do that.
Yes.
That's like faking it. And you can't make it because you can't act like that on a daily basis unless you're really insane, right? Yeah. But with that said, here's my response, because, and I've always told you about this, and I'm sure that in the prior podcasts I've talked about this. I read a spiritual book once, back again. This is most of the information I get is from this book because it really answers a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. But this book was, of course, written by a human, but it was information that was given by a non-physical entity. And here's the response, and I liked this response. Spiritually speaking, right, you are born gay. You don't make yourself gay. Nobody converts you. You are born gay. A lot of people, a lot of parents, for example, can see their kids with those modalities, with those behaviors.
I can agree with that. I can agree with you on that 100%. Now that I'm thinking and I'm processing thought of how can somebody being born with a certain defect, with a mix of DNA, with, when somebody's born with a crooked ear, or maybe, no, you get what I'm saying.
I know.
Any type of deformation or any type of, that you're born with, you can actually be born with being gay.
Yeah.
Which is, a mix of, what is it, Y, X, well, how does it work?
The chromosomes, yeah.
Exactly.
I think, X, Y.
That could be all mixed up within your system, and then I can understand, and that's very possible. I'm not here to, be an expert on that.
Yeah, but the X, Y chromosomes, all of that is more of a physical trait, how your body reproduces. But let me tell you about the spiritual answer. And I think people like this, and so here it is. So spiritually speaking, and I know that many people might not believe this, but this is just the way it works. I mean, whether believe it or not, that's just the way it is. People come to this life multiple times. They call it reincarnation. But you got to understand that reincarnation doesn't work that you pass away, then you're reborn, then you pass away on that life, then you're reborn. No, everything happens at once because there's no such thing as time. Now, what our goal is, because we are part of all that is, or part of God, our goal is to become like God, right? So if you believe in all that is, or God, which all of us do in one way or another, God understands how a man feels, right? Do you agree? Do you think God knows how a man feels?
Yeah.
Do you think God understands and knows how a woman feels, how they view things?
Well, but this.
I'm
sorry to take you back again. I mean, you're see, coming from you, I don't expect you to be talking about God.
I understand, and that's why I said
we're talking about other people.
And that's why, right. But here's the answer, right. And that's why I said in my another podcast that I hate using the word God because exactly of that. You think of your own God.
Well, you can tell I'm listening. I'm listening, and I'm getting to know exactly.
So now let me ask you this question: all that is knows about how to be a man, how to be a dog, how to be a cat, how to be a woman.
Yeah.
Do you think all that is knows how a gay person is?
Can you repeat the question?
God is all-knowing, right?
Oh, no, he knows everything.
He knows everything.
Yes.
He knows how a man is, how a man feels,
yeah.
how a man thinks.
Yeah.
He knows how a woman feels, how a woman thinks.
Yeah.
He even knows how a cat,
yeah.
And I'm using the word he so people can understand because it's really not a he or she.
Yeah.
But all that is understands the life of a cat. All that is also understands how a gay person is. Now, we are part of all that is, but we're not all that is.
Yeah.
So gay people are more advanced spiritually, and here's how. Because of multiple lives that they've had as females, multiple lives that they had as males, in order to become all-knowing as well, they have to know how a gay person feels. And they choose to experience a life of that status. So they choose to be born gay. Now, there's different levels of gayness. It sounds funny. I know. But you have gay people that are men, that like men.
Yeah.
And then you have some people that dress like women. Like men.
I think all that has a different name, right?
And then you have some people that become women. They surgery and everything.
That's the transgender, right? No,
right.
Okay,
so there's different. I think that's different levels. Okay. So some people just don't want to do anything, and some people go all the way out. They cut it off.
Yeah. No, I've seen that.
So spiritually speaking, gay people are more spiritually advanced because they've already had their experience with manhood, womanhood, and now they're going to that. For us, it's hard to understand because we're like, well, why do you like dudes? I mean, there are all these women. it's impossible for us to understand.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Just
Go ahead.
You saying that, when you're gay, accept that 100%. It's just that flip, which is fine. That's fine. Being gay is fine.
Nothing wrong with it.
I mean, all the extra stuff, I kind of feel like I got to play pretend with you, and I don't feel like playing pretend with you. You cannot go to the bathroom where men goes if you're not completely flipped around.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you can't.
Yeah, but that's a societal thing. That's more of a civilized society. How should we treat them?
Well, not exactly that. I'm saying when you say cut it off, right? If you're going to be cut it off, and then you can go to the woman's bathroom. You can't you can't do both. You can't go.
No, I never said that. I never said that you cut it off and you can therefore go to a woman's bathroom. But again, that's a societal issue that we're dealing with now.
Yeah, we're dealing with that now.
But you got to understand, gayness has always existed.
I understand gayness always existed.
I mean, it's funny that you said earlier about something about mental, because in the 70s and 60s, there's a lot of people that got married with women
and they were gay
and had families,
and they were gay.
But they were 100% gay.
Mm-hmm. They didn't know what was wrong with them.
Well,
a lot of them didn't know what was wrong. They had this thing, they like men,
right?
But they thought that the right thing to do was,
because society expected that from them. Mm-hmm. And if they did not want to conform to society at that time, they used to take you away. They used to take you to they thought you were mentally ill.
Mentally ill, yeah.
It was considered a mentally ill condition, right? Condition for mentally ill.
Yeah.
Now,
which up until a few years ago, I thought the same thing, and I apologize. No, seriously. I mean, you live and learn. That's the way I see things. You live and learn, and I agree with you 100% with what you're saying, and I'm sorry to the gay community if I offended any of you guys.
For me and my behalf, I always say this, and there's a large group of people that just can't stand it. For me, it's like, how are they affecting you? Yeah. If you can't stand it, that's you. But let them live. I mean, we're all in this world together.
Yeah, let them. I agree.
I mean, it's not my fault. It is my fault. I'm Hispanic because, as I said, spiritually speaking, you choose where you're born, you choose who your parents are.
Where are you from? Where are you from, Clara?
I'm Mexican.
You are Mexican?
Yes, sí, señor.
Okay, but you've been here forever.
Oh, yeah. I guess. Well, you got to understand this, all right?
Yeah.
Aside from being Mexican.
Yeah.
All right. Because I don't consider myself Mexican. I consider myself indigenous.
I call you a native, and I understand that.
Because that's what I really am. Just to let you know, people have now traveled all over to America, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people are here from all over the world.
Yes.
But if you really want to know who was here before and how they looked like, just look at me.
No, I agree with you 100%,
I was here before all of y'all, before any of y'all, all right? We have ancestors like thousands of years, not 200 years, not a few years. No Africans that somebody's trying to let in for free. And getting all the benefits.
When Christopher Columbus got here,
he
was already here.
Christopher's grandparents weren't even born yet. And I was here, all right? It's me. All right.
Oh man, that sounds great, man. That sounds great. I love
anyway, back to the topic.
All right, let's get back to it.
So, how would you treat your son? Say that he was gay. How would you think you would treat him versus society? Would you be scared of him?
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I talk to him like my son. I cut his hair on it. To me, it's a joke, but I tell him, say, "Hey, man. If you're gay, man, you're still my son. I love you, man." And he's like, good. "Come on, leave me alone." I said, "Man, I'm telling you, man. You whatever's whatever. I love you the same way. I don't care. But just me messing with him. Like I used to do that when he was very young. I had to figure it out." I said, "Man," because my younger son, he's with the women. He's crazy with the ladies. God. So he was young and he had girlfriends, and then Christopher. He was a little slower with the girlfriend. I said, "Man, listen, if you're gay, I love you. Yeah, love you the same way. I'm always gonna love you."
I mean, a lot of times they might seem gay, but they're not. They're just shy.
No. I mean, it's just when your kids are going in the same direction. Because let me tell you something. It's not in style. It's not something that this depression that these kids are starting going through in a younger age is because no understanding from the parents and homophobic parents and you know the pressure that you have when your dad is a homophobic
Yes.
and you're gay, bro, you want to kill yourself.
Well, Hispanics have a
That's
reputation.
what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
have a reputation for that. So I wanted to stay away from that because I seen it
Good.
in so many families that I was like, yo, I can't be that guy. I gotta be the guy that, there's a problem there. You like, it's all good. Then, I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. I mean, I'm not religious. I'm not a religious guy where I'm gonna be God says you have to. I'm not gonna put that on
Right.
you. I can't do that.
It's funny because you remind me of. I have a story for you, quick one.
Go ahead.
I used to work at I used to have a flea market booth years ago.
Oh, over here in Sanford?
Uh-huh.
Really?
And yes. And there was this family, right? And I'm not going to say any names, but there was this family
Say it.
that had one of their sons transition to a girl, right? And this girl, of course, or boy.
Chopped it off? Type of situation?
Well, I don't know, but I know they had breast implants. I'm not sure if they chopped the bottom off or not.
I mean,
I never asked.
You go to Mexico, you get it done.
Oh yeah, you cheap. Shit, you get free.
$150.
But this girl, right? She used to have a lot of boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of old people too.
Yeah.
She used to tell me, right? Because
Yeah.
we were friends. And she used to have a boyfriend. Her boyfriend was like a stripper or something.
Yeah.
And I know some people that know me out there are like, oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she used to break up with this boyfriend, date somebody else. And I was astonished of how many boyfriends she had.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a lot of them. As years went by, this girl just kept changing boyfriends. But you know what I realized? I think a lot of her boyfriends, temporary boyfriends, were more curious to be with her. But at the end, it looks like now, because she's older, and men with male traits, your hair falls down, things like that. It's a lonely life. It's an extremely lonely life. Like, nobody's going to marry her. She doesn't have as much popularity as before when she was younger. It's a very lonely life. And, I feel sad in a way. Because if it's like that now, she's younger than me. But if she's like that now, just imagine 10, 15 years from
Down the
now.
line, yeah, I could see. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
by yourself,
Yeah,
I mean,
can see that.
it's a very lonely life. So people think about it. Before you go all the way through, think about it.
All right, with that said, we're done with this segment.
Yes,
we hope
thank
you
you.
like it. Subscribe, like.
And tell us what you think, man. If you have any comments or any questions, just let us know. But, we will try our best. We're experts, by the way. So we'll try our best to give you our...
Oh, man. Thank you.